students and welcome back to Kanchan's classes. So in today's video we are going to study on how we can measure the rate of motion. Now by rate of motion I mean that what I mean to say is that if a particular object is in motion, how fast or how slow it is going to cover that particular distance. Okay. Now how fast or how slow it is going to travel is going to depend on how much time it takes, yes or no. So here we are going to see how much distance is being covered in how much span of time. So with that information we can determine the rate of that particular object which is in motion. Now in our day-to-day life we see so many objects which are in motion, yes or no. Like we'll see a cycle, we'll see a car, we'll see a bus, we'll see a caterpillar which is moving, we'll see humans which are walking or running. So there are different objects which are in different they're traveling with a different rate of motion. So we need to measure this, yes or no. So for that we are given a particular term in physics and that is called as speed. Okay, so speed is going to help us to measure the rate of motion. Okay, so let us just read about what I just said. So different objects take different amount of time to cover a given distance, which we just said. That is, some move fast and some move slow. Okay, for example, cycle and a car. Say suppose one guy, okay, or one boy is traveling with a cycle and he has to cover a distance of 50 kilometers. Okay, now he will take, say suppose 1 hour to cover this distance of 50 kilometers. But there's another guy who is going to travel 50 kilometers with a car. Then you will see that he is able to cover within 30 minutes this particular distance of 50 minutes. That is, the cycle is going to have a slower rate with which it is going to travel, and that is why it will require a longer time duration to cover this 50 kilometers. But the car is going to be traveling with a higher or a faster rate, and that is why it is able to cover this 50 kilometer distance in only 30 minutes. Okay, let us take another example. Say suppose you want to travel from Goa to Bombay. So say suppose there's one person who's taking the flight to go from Goa to Bombay. So this person, whoever is taking the flight to go from Goa to Bombay, he will only require, say suppose 1 to 2 hours to reach the desired destination. But say suppose there's another person who's traveling with a car from Goa to Bombay, then that person will require at least 10 hours to reach Bombay, yes or no. So what you're seeing here, that whenever the person is going to take the aeroplane, he's able to reach Bombay within a duration of 2 hours. And why is that? Because the motion of this aeroplane is faster. Okay, it is able to travel faster, or the rate of motion of this aeroplane is faster, and hence it is able to cover such a big distance in such a short time duration. But a person who is traveling with the car is going to have a slower rate of motion with respect to the aeroplane, and that is why it is going to require 10 hours of duration to reach the same destination that the aeroplane is covering in 2 hours. So with this we can see that there are different objects which are in motion and they have their own rate of motion. Okay, now there arises a need for us to calculate this because everybody is having their different rate of motions with which they are traveling, yes or no. Nobody is going to travel with the same rate of motion. Another example is a person who is running and a person who is walking. The person who is running is able to reach the, say suppose 50 kilometers in a shorter time, but a person who is walking that 50 kilometers is going to take a longer duration, yes or no. So in physics we are given a quantity and that quantity is known as speed. Okay, so speed is going to help us to know, okay, what is the rate of motion of a particular object. Okay, now for us to calculate the speed of a particular object that is in motion, we need to have two parameters with us or two more quantities with us, and that is the distance and the time. Because we need to know how much distance is being covered by the object which is in motion and how much time it is taking to cover that particular distance. So if we have the distance that the object is traveling and the time that it has taken to cover that distance, then we can easily calculate the quantity speed which is going to tell us the rate of the motion, that is how fast that particular object has traveled or how slow that particular object has traveled. So let us read about it. So, distance traveled by a body in unit time is expressed by a quantity known as speed. Okay, so a particular distance that is being traveled by an object, okay, in a given amount of time, okay, is expressed in a quantity that is known as speed. Okay, so speed is going to tell us about the rate of the motion, that is how fast or how slow this particular object is going to travel. Now, the speed of an object depends on two parameters. And which are the two parameters? It is distance and it is time. So if we know a particular car has traveled a distance of 50 kilometers in, say, suppose in 10 hours, then we can easily calculate what is the speed at which this car has driven to cover this distance of 50 kilometers in a span of 1 hour or 30 minutes. Yes or no? So therefore, speed of an object is defined as the distance traveled by an object per unit time. So this is the definition. Okay. So if we have to write it in a formula, then how we are going to write it? Then it is going to be speed is equals to distance upon time, that is distance covered per unit time. Okay. Now if you have to write it in a form of abbreviation, then let us consider s, small s to be the distance covered by the object in motion, small t be the time that it took to cover that distance, and v, small v be the speed with which that particular distance is being covered. Okay. So if we write it as, then it is going to be v is equals to s upon t. Okay. So speed is the quantity that is helping us to determine the rate of that particular object which is in motion. Okay. And it requires two parameters for that, that is the distance that it has to travel and how much time that object has taken to cover that distance. Okay. I hope this is clear to you all. Now, let us see what is the unit that we need to express this speed quantity with. Like for weight, we have kgs, grams. Then for volume, we have liter, milliliter. Similarly, speed also has its own unit. So, let us see how we get the unit of speed. Then what is the formula of speed? Speed is equals to distance upon time. So, how do we get the unit of speed? Then it is unit of speed is equals to unit of distance divided by unit of time. Okay, so we know unit of distance is meters, okay, and unit of time is second, so it becomes meter upon second. Now the second is in denominator, so when we take it to the numerator, it will get what? It will get reciprocated. So therefore the SI unit of speed is meter per second. Okay, you can write meter per second as small m, small s with a superscript of -1, or you can write it as small m slash small s. Okay. Now what is SI unit? Then SI unit is the International Standard of Units. Okay. So the International Standard of Unit have given this to be the SI unit of speed. So if ever you are writing the SI unit of speed, then it is always going to be expressed as meter per second. Okay. Now you can write meter per second in this form or in this form. Now there are other units also with which you can give a speed a unit, and that is kilometers per hour or centimeter per second. But scientifically, the SI unit of speed is meter per second. Okay. So whenever kilometers is involved, it is going to be R. Whenever centimeter is involved, it is going to be per second. Okay. It will never be kilometer per second. If it is kilometer per second, then you have to do conversion over there. Okay. And it is never going to be centimeter per hour. Again, if the centimeter per hour, you have to do conversion. Okay. So it is always going to be meter per second, which is going to be the standard unit of speed. And there are other units which are kilometer per hour and centimeter per second. So that was the unit of speed. Now this is when the particular object is moving in uniform motion. That is, it is traveling or it is covering equal distances in equal interval of time. Now what if a particular vehicle is traveling with non-uniform speed? Now we know what is non-uniform speed. Non-uniform speed is the speed, okay, or it is the motion of an object that is covering unequal distances in equal interval of time. So we see that mostly, okay, whenever a particular object is traveling, it is very rarely going to follow uniform motion. Mostly a particular object is always going to travel with a non-uniform motion. And for example is when we are traveling in a car, we are never going to get an empty straight road for us to travel, yes or no? In between there will be people crossing, there will be cows which are crossing, there will be dogs which are crossing, or there will be a big traffic jam. So what happens? The distance that a particular object is covering in a given unit of time is going to be changing constantly. So there is a formula, okay, of average speed that we are going to use when the object is moving with a non-uniform motion. Okay, so if the motion of an object is non-uniform, Okay, then we calculate average speed, okay, and not just normal speed. So what is the formula of average speed? Then average speed is going to be the total distance traveled by that object divided by the total time it has taken to cover that particular distance, okay. And the unit is also same. It is meter per second when it is the SI unit, okay, and the other units are centimeter per second and kilometer per hour, okay. So this is what is this is what is about speed, and we know now that speed is the quantity that we are using to measure the rate of motion. Now one thing that you will have to keep in mind is that when we are talking about speed, speed is a scalar quantity, okay. And by scalar quantity, I mean that it is always going to be expressed in the form of magnitude and never direction, okay. There will be never direction which is mentioned when we are talking about speed. Speed is always going to be a numerical value with its SI unit, okay. There is never direction which will be expressed when we are talking about speed, okay. Now if there is speed which is talking about direction, then that we are going to speak in the next video. But now you'll have to keep in mind that speed is a scalar quantity, that is, it is always going to be associated with the magnitude, that is a numerical value, and never it is going to be expressed when there is direction which is involved, okay. So now let us solve two sums based on this concept, and let us see how we have to solve them, okay. So in today's video we have learned two formulas. One is of speed, and speed is what? Speed is distance upon time, and average speed is the next formula that we learned, and average speed is the total distance traveled upon the total time taken to travel that particular distance, okay. So let us take down a question and solve it. So question 1. A bus travels 130 kilometers in 5 hours between two stations. What is the speed of the bus? Okay, so now the question is straightforward, asking you to calculate the speed of the bus. Now which are the quantities which are given to us? We are given the distance, that is 130 kilometers, and we are given the time that the bus has taken to cover this distance. So we are given the quantity S, that is 130 kilometers, and we are given the quantity T, that is 5 hours. Yes or no? Now you have to look at whether you need to do conversions or not. Now here the unit of the distance is kilometer and unit of the time is hours. So there is no need for conversion in this case, okay, because we know there is another unit for speed, that is kilometers per hour. So conversion is not required in this case. Now let us put the formula of speed. We know that speed is equals to distance upon time. And we are given distance is 130 kilometers, time taken is 5 hours. So how much is this? This is going to be 5 ones are 5 twos are 10, and this is 3 and this is 6. So we have the speed, that is 26 kilometers per hour, okay. So the bus is going to travel with a speed of 26 kilometers per hour to cover a distance of 130 kilometers, okay. So now what is this 26 kilometers per hour? 26 kilometers per hour means that in 1 hour the bus is traveling 26 kilometers, okay. So 1 hour, the bus takes 1 hour and it covers 26 kilometers in this 1 hour, okay. So if you add 5 hours, then you are going to get a total of 130 kilometers. So the speed with which the bus is traveling is 26 kilometers per hour, okay. So this was the formula of speed. Now let us take another question and see how to solve it, okay. Let us take down the next question. The next question is, an object travels 16 meters in 4 seconds and 10 meters in 2 seconds. What is the average speed of this object? Now here the question is straightforward, asking you the average speed of the object. Now why average speed over here? Because this object is traveling in a non-uniform motion. That is, first it is covering 16 meters in 4 seconds and then it is covering 10 meters in 2 seconds. Now what is the formula of average speed? Formula of average speed is the total distance traveled upon the total time taken. So first let us calculate the total distance that this object is taking to cover, and then let us calculate the total time. Okay. So first we need to find out the total distance covered, and that is 16 meters plus 10 meters, and 16 plus 10 meters is how much? It is 26 meters. So this particular object has travelled a total distance of 26 meters. Now let us find out the total time taken by this object to cover this 26 meter distance. Then that is going to be 4 seconds plus 2 seconds. 4 seconds plus 2 seconds is what? 6 seconds. So we got our total distance that it is taking to cover and total time. So now let us put the formula of average speed. So what is the formula of average speed? It is total distance divided by the total time. So what is the total distance? Total distance is 26 and total time taken is 6 seconds. So this is going to be what? 2 3s are, 2 1s are, 2 8s are, 3 1s are, and 3 6s are. No, I made a mistake here. This is what? This is 26 upon 6. So this is 2 3s are, 2 1s are 2, 2 3s are. So this is 13 upon 3. And if we do long division of 3 by 13, then we know 3 4s are 12. And then we are going to get 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Then 0. 3 3s are 9. So we are going to get 4.3 meters per second. Now why meters per seconds over here? Because the distance, the unit of distance is meter and the unit of time is second. So now here the unit of average speed is going to be meter per second. So by this you mean to say that this particular object is traveling with the speed of 4.3 meters per second to cover this particular total distance in this particular total time. So this was about the quantity which is helping us to measure the rate of motion, and that is speed. Okay, in the next video we shall learn about a term called as velocity, which is nothing but it is speed with direction. Okay, so if you have any difficulty you can ask me, and thank you for watching this video.